Don't you hate it when you're trying to play a game on Steam and you encounter this?
What the f am I looking at?
The consequences of our actions!
And it's only going to get worse from here.
That's right, my name is Noxlava, and today I'm going to be telling you all about how third-party launchers are the worst thing that's happened to modern gaming, and why it's kind of our fault. And I'll be using LA Noire, a game I love very much, to demonstrate my argument. You know what, before I jump the gun on this, let's take a look at what the community thinks about this topic. What is it with game companies and shitty launchers? They force everyone to use their third-party app to run the game off of Steam. Great game, terrible bloatware. Not run the game without also having to sign into the Rockstar Social Club. Should create an account for a single-player game. Yeah, that tracks. The community clearly doesn't like the third-party launcher, which is a bad sign because I haven't even started my argument yet, and there's already a very obvious lack of trust towards Rockstar from the community. I'm starting off hot with this one. Sometimes the third-party launcher can actually hinder the gameplay experience. They'll go from playing LA Noire with great performance and awesome gameplay to playing LA Noire on a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. This looks genuinely awful. This is the current PC port of LA Noire, and if you take a look at the hat of the player,
come take a look at this.
You'll be able to notice the frame rate a little bit easier. According to some sources, those being Steam reviews, the game is capped at 30 FPS. Okay, but how do I know that this isn't a thing for every single version of the game? Well, here's the Xbox 360 port, which I own.
Yeah, me and a temp guy from the agency.
Did you have a woman in here last night, 21 years old, Hispanic, drinking heavily?
We have a lot of ladies like that in here. But yeah, I know who you mean. Antonia Maldonado. So what did she do?
She was murdered last night.
Oh, shit.
Okay, but how is this the launcher's fault? To be honest, I don't know, so here's a Steam review that explains it better than I can. It's not just the gameplay that's the problem either, it's also the boot time. I managed to beat Doom 2 Gateway faster than the game could boot up. Let's go Rockstar! And now we're getting into the thick of things because the third-party launcher, believe it or not, kinda just doesn't let you own the game. Let me explain. Most, if not all, Steam games are what's called DRM free or digital rights management free, which means you can boot them from the EXE file. Requiring a third-party launcher to boot up a game means that you can no longer boot the game via just the EXE, which means you technically don't own that game. It doesn't matter if you have the files installed or not, which you should. If you don't have the launcher, if you're not booting up from the launcher, you can't play the game. This is a pretty big issue, not just because of not being able to boot it up from an EXE, but most launchers require an email. And if you lose your email, or if you get hacked, or if you just simply forget the password or something, you can no longer play the game that you bought. This is what we in the biz refer to as daylight robbery. This should actually just be illegal. What's worse is that with third-party launchers like the Rockstar launcher, you can't even boot up the game if you don't have internet. Here's me trying to do just that with LA Noire via Steam. If I bought the game on Steam, I expect to run and execute via Steam. The fact that I need internet access to launch a single-player game that I have hard installed on my SSD is mind-bogglingly stupid.
Don't tell me you thought
we'd let you own the game.
Wait, did you? Yes. Gotcha! I was this close to
Trusting your game studio.
Hey, lighten up!
For the greater good, probably.
This isn't even just the fault of Rockstar or the other companies that feel the need to do this. The blame also falls on the players for buying these games and playing them. My final point doesn't pertain to LA Noire specifically, rather it pertains to the participatory culture of gamers in general. That's us. It's what I'd refer to as the Call of Duty effect. Every year there's a new COD game released. And every time, the players always talk about how utterly garbage the new game is, and how COD hasn't been good since Black Ops 2, or how this one's even worse than the one that came out last year, but for some reason, those same players will still buy the new game, and then they'll buy the next COD, and then they'll buy the next COD, and then the one that comes after that. The point is, they hate COD, but they still buy it. And you know what this does? This enables COD developers to keep making their slop, because they're still making money off the new COD game every time it gets released. The point I'm trying to make here is the only true way to stop this from happening is to hit the studios in their wallet. Because if they're not losing money, they're not going to stop. So it's partially our fault as gamers because we keep buying games from these studios that keep making stupid decisions. We yell, we scream, we cry, and then they continue to do it because guess what? You bought the game. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.